Shout out to BWB, man. BWB. Bandwagon Buffs. Shout out to BWB, man. You know what I'm saying? Bandwagon Buffs, man. Shout out to Bandwagon Buffs. Thank y'all for coming. BWB, baby. Shout out to TLP Sports Club, baby.
Buff Nation, BWB, my bandwagon buffs. It's your man's Harry Billion. My bandwagon buffs is official. Shiloh has graduated from Jackson State University. He will now be putting in that request to be with the Colorado Buffaloes as an official buff. So let's check it out right now.
Deion Sanders. Dennis R. Shaw. Malik.
Yo, this is exciting because now Coach has his kids with him over there in Colorado, in Boulder. He has his daughter on the basketball team. He has his sons who are doing his media, handling his social media. He has his son who is the quarterback on the team. Now he has Shiloh, who's going to be his safety in the back. And then he's going to have on the wings Cormani McLean, who's going to be graduating high school real soon. It's going to be coming to Boulder. Cormani McLean is going to be on one side of the ball on the defense, and then we're going to have Travis Hunter on the other side of the ball on the defense, and he's also going to be ready for the offense. He's learning the offense so that they don't guess what type of plays he's going to be able to do, like he said it himself in one of those conferences. So now our defense is going to be lockdown defense. If you don't understand what's going on, you better get to know what's going on because it's about to go down. We have a lot of recruits. Guys are watching the video. Make sure you're paying attention, not just to my voice, but also pay attention to the on-screen stuff that I'm dropping. Yes, it's a voiceover, but I'm actually dropping some gems on the screen. So make sure you watch the screen. I'm telling you some of the things that are going on Twitter, some of the things that are being tweeted. I'm showing you all of those things on the screen. So make sure you pay attention to what's going on, what's popping there on the screen. I did a live against the NFL draft, and we had a pretty solid group of people watching. Do y'all know if the TCU quarterback was drafted in the NFL draft? I don't know. The guy that left TCU, the quarterback that left TCU, do you guys know if he was drafted in the NFL draft? I brought you that video and I told you, hey, we're doing the breakdown pound for pound. The guy that they're losing, their quarterback is in the NFL draft. He ain't projected to go high in the NFL draft. But our quarterback, Deion Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, his seed, is projected to go very high when he enters that draft. So that says a lot. If that quarterback, who happens to be Coach Prime's son, was on a different team and he was projected to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, he would be lauded as a high prospect quarterback. He would be a star quarterback on that team. Regardless of his past, whether it's HBCU or not, they would have said this guy on the Georgia team or on USC's team or on any other team, he would have been lauded as one of the top prospects in the nation. But for some reason, he's not being lauded by the triple D's, and they're doing more fall football, and then the summertime is going to come. We're going to be talking about a whole new set of guys. Once all of this is done, we're going to be talking about a whole new set of people. And I wanted to drop some gems on you guys while I'm here. Why not? Let's go ahead and drop some gems on you. I want to give you a perspective that was tweeted by the DMVR people, all right? So you can see what's going on and what's happening. Okay, Colorado spring transfers by the numbers. They're saying right there on your screen as you seeing, right? Out of 43 total transfers who were out, 11 of those players did not play a snap in 2022. Holla at me when you see me in the streets of Boulder, okay? Remember, this is a 2023 season that we're playing, okay? 13 of those players played in 7 games or less. 2 of those players were DBs, or 2 total DBs who charted a pass breakup. And then one of those players was an offensive lineman, and he was a starter. We have 3 interceptions from 12 DBs, 3 interceptions from 12 DBs, 11 touchdowns from 11 total skill players, 1 total sack from the front 7, and 0 multi-touchdown games. I mean, you got to put it into perspective. So the DNVR Buffs podcast, thank you for that statistical information. We bring stats over here, guys. So these people that are transferring, these are not high-level players. Yes, these are kids who, amongst them, were several of them that did well, but not all of them. So we got to clean house in order for us to bring in scholarship players. This is what this stuff breaks down to be. I'm going to show you this one because I don't know if I shared it, but I don't know if you guys noticed it. I'm going to put this one on the screen again. On DraftKings, we have Deion Sanders is currently plus 6,000 to go first overall in the 2024 NFL Draft. And then, of course, you got Caleb Williams, who is minus 550. And then we got Michael Penix, who is plus 5,000. And then Deion Sanders is right there on your screen. Bo Nix is down there as well. These are some of the teams that we're going to be playing. So I want you to understand that this is not a fluke. A lot of y'all think this is a fluke. That's why I'm telling you, if the writers who are the researchers, who have the resources, who do the research for these teams, when they are giving us factual information, it seems as if our factual information isn't relevant. Only the factual information from other teams are relevant. That's why the argument just seems bleak to me. It just seems shallow to me, pun intended. All right, so we got to understand at the end of the day, all we have are what we see if we saw them play already, or statistical information. When a team or a player is being drafted, what you have is information from Rivals, ESPN, 247, On3, all of these recruiting services. How high can it jump? How low can it go? Okay? How fast can it run? When we bring our information, it should also make sense to everyone, because that's all we're bringing. Deion Sanders, 3,000 plus yards in passing, undefeated season. It should mean something. I know to a lot of you, it don't mean much, but it should mean something, because you will be on the other side of the argument if we were talking about your quarterback. I'm tired of talking about the same things over and over again, and it seems as if people don't seem to grasp the basic concept of what I'm saying. We gotta have the basic concepts equal to every player that we're talking about. It doesn't matter where they're coming from, whether it's Jackson State, HBCU, or they're coming from another Power 5 team. If you can play, you can play. We're talking about at the quarterback position. When we talk about HBCUs, just like my guest Matt Reeves told you guys, the trenches could be the difference when we talk about the difference between HBCU and Power 5. So at the quarterback position, if this guy's accuracy is so high from an HBCU, you should think that his accuracy is going to be the same when he's going to any other league. You can't tell me, oh no, the kids in HBCU are slower than the kids in Power 5. No, they're not. They may be bigger in the trenches at a Power 5, but these kids run the same thing. A Travis Hunter running at that speed, a Jimmy Horn running at that speed would be the same Jimmy Horn at these HBCUs. I'm tired of making this argument. I want to get past this, but a lot of you guys, a lot of the detractors, they're in the comments and they don't want to let it go. They don't understand. Like, bring factual information. I can bring you information. I can keep proving it and keep proving it over and over again, but it seems like it doesn't matter. And that's what irks me about this conversation. We can talk barbershop talk all day. Oh, he's not going to win because he's just a media darling. Or when you go to the comments, Coach Prime hasn't won anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy hasn't won anything. Kirby Smart is the king of college football. Where is Kirby Smart? How many times have you heard Kirby Smart's name mentioned this year on anything relevant? We're talking about being relevant. So when we said the king is the one that everybody is adhering to. The king is the one that's selling out his spring game at $10 a pop when most people are providing it for free. The king is the one that they honor when other people who are supposed to be honored are not being honored, like the reigning national champions in the Georgia Bulldogs or the runner-up in the TCU. They deserve to be on the national TV. But guess who's not in those positions? The TCU nor the Georgias there. It's Coach Prime. When we're talking about the king who runs this, it's the most relevant person. Go to any other industry. You would say who's the king of New York? It's the one that's selling the most albums when it comes to hip hop. Who's the king of New York? Who's popping in these streets? When you say who's the king of Atlanta, it's the person that's selling the most albums, the person that's ringing the most. So why is it that when we say the king of college football, why does the criteria change? And then it has to go back to the past. We want to go back to the past. What have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. Get out of here with that nonsense. I'm trying to tell you, when I say Coach Prime is the king, I'm talking about Coach Prime being the most relevant college football coach right now. He breaks the internet when he farts. That's nasty, I know, but I don't care. God breaks the internet on everything he says. Everybody's watching everything he says. That's how you tell who's the king in an industry. You go anywhere, whenever artists travel somewhere, whenever there's boxing, if they want to get somebody who's going to open up, they're going to go around and they're going to say who's the hottest right now in these streets. So who is the hottest person in these streets? If a major artist is coming to your town, you know what they're going to say? Who's the hottest? We want to put somebody on this bill that's buzzing, because people are going to pay tickets to come and see who's buzzing. So who's buzzing right now? Detractors, delusional detractors. Tell me who's buzzing right now. Coach Prime is buzzing. You're always trying to move the goalpost when it comes to who's buzzing. In any other conversation, when we talk about who's the hottest right now, you say, oh, these are the criteria for who's hot right now. Who are the people anticipating? Who are the people going to pay to see? We can find this out real easy. Let's put it to the test. Ask your favorite YouTuber. Ask the best YouTuber, the one that's the hottest YouTuber right now. Tell them to make a video and put Kirby Smart on there, on the title. And then make another video and put Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, on there. And let's see which video gets the most view. Who's the hottest thing spinning right now? That's Coach Prime. So when we talking about the king of college football right now, you can get upset if you want to because you don't like the guy, but common sense will tell you he's the hottest thing spinning. He's the king right now on everything. Everything. Sold out season tickets. Who's bringing the most money to the city? Who's bringing the most money to their university, to their program? Who's eating everybody's lunch in the transfer portal? Who's the closer? Who's Debo, the chain snatcher, the body snatcher? He can snatch any recruit he wants. Who's replacing a 1-11 team, coming in and still snatching bodies? Who's doing all of that? I don't care if you don't like the guy or not. You got to agree to the argument, and then you and I can move from there and say, okay, now let's look at some other qualifications. If you're willing to do that, then you and I can have a civil conversation. That's what this is all about, man. Who's the hottest thing spinning? We the hottest thing spinning. Colorado Buffaloes. Holler at me when you see me in the streets with BWB jacket on my back and BWB hat on what it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. What it is. What is it that y'all don't understand? What is it, detractors, that you don't understand? Shiloh's coming now. Say something else about that. He's going high in the NFL draft. In about a year, 2024, we're going to be talking about the NFL draft. We're going to be talking about these kids that I'm talking about right now. What it is, what it does, and what it's going to be. Holla at me, man. Alabama DB Jaquez Robinson, former 4-star out of Jacksonville. He's on his way here. When we talk, we make sense. We make a lot of sense. Sense turn into dollars. That's because that's what Coach Prime is bringing to this university, to the city, to the state. Coach Prime is making so much money, he's not even affecting the state anymore. He's affecting it worldwide. More YouTubers making money, making a living off of the name Coach Prime Deion Sanders than any other coach in the history of college football. The Nick Sabans. You can mention those people right now. It wouldn't get as much views as you would if you mention Coach Prime or Deion Sanders. So I don't know what y'all drinking or what's in your drink. I just want to let y'all know, y'all gonna have to come off that hateration, you heard? Let the African tell you. Don't let me come all the way from Monrovia, Liberia to tell you. Even people in South Africa know what's happening. People in the Philippines know what's happening. Everybody else around the world know what's happening and who's the hottest coach spinning. But for some reason, the detractors don't understand. They can't fathom why he's the king. How do you describe who the king is? The reigning king, the current king, is not based on what you did yesterday. What are you doing now? If you won last year and nobody's talking about you, are you still the king? And what kind of king are you? You're a lame duck king. You ain't got no power. You ain't doing nothing. The SEC is the power conference in all of football. You have an institution that is set up to auto recruit. You ain't gotta do nothing if you work at Georgia. You ain't gotta do nothing. All you gotta do is just say Georgia and kids will come running. It's already there. You can't compare a Georgia recruit to a Coach Prime recruit because Coach Prime gotta work for his. Coach Prime is new at Colorado, at CU. He's not supposed to be doing what he's doing at CU. Y'all don't understand that? If you have an institution that's won 4 times in a row, if you have an institution that has won, everybody wants to be a part of a winning team. A kid knows that if you go to a Georgia and they want you, if you are a top prospect and you go to a Georgia, your chances of landing an NFL job are higher than other programs. So that's an easy sell. You ain't gotta do no selling. Take that same Georgia person, take the coach from Georgia, bring him to CU, and let's see if he has that same energy. He may have some kid commit just off of his name and the fact that he's won at Georgia, but it ain't gonna have the same weight like a Coach Prime, who's coming from a HBCU like y'all always want to point out, and getting 5 stars and 4 stars to come to the program, fresh off the boat. What's happening, man? Where's the conversation now? Y'all turning this into a barbershop conversation. I like to talk with facts and receipts. When you bring receipts, we can talk. I hate to just keep giving y'all same old information because you don't get it. It ain't my fault you don't get it. Conversation changes. The criteria changes. The goalpost moves when it comes to Coach Prime and our regime. BWB, we here. We're going to keep screaming it. I'm tired of screaming it, man. And guess what? Shiloh's here. That's why I made this video. I ain't come on here to give you stats. I just wanted to come on here and congratulate my guy Shiloh for graduating. One thing you got to understand is graduating is not easy. Going to college is not something easy. Being accepted at a prestigious university is not easy. It's something that's to be celebrated. Whenever you get somebody graduating from a college or a university, it's something to be hailed and to be congratulated. And then to be accepted at CU is a whole nother feat that you have to congratulate, let alone just to be playing football for them. I'm talking about just transferring your credits, having the grade point average to be able to transfer. That's another thing. But we're not going to talk about that. That's light work, right? We're talking about how he can play. Take that. Y'all gonna be getting upset, man. I'm telling you, we got kids that are graduating. Y'all gonna grow some type of ulcer if y'all don't be careful. Because the hate is strong. It's easy to hate. To support, that takes some muscle. To find something good in another man to say, wow, you're doing something good, that takes another type of muscle. But I hope y'all can start working out. Go to the gym. Because, you know, I'm going to be hitting the gym. Somebody said I was fat. I'm like, look, I can lose the weight, but can you lose your attitude? I can go to the gym and start working out, but can you work out your attitude? Can you change that nasty view you got about somebody else that you don't know? Can you change that view? Can you change the fact that you're a nasty human being? You want to fat shame me? I'll fat shame myself before you do it. I told you my belly was out there. I'm a bandwagon buff. You can't come on the channel no more talking about, y'all remember in the beginning people was coming on here, y'all, where all these fans come from, where all of a sudden fan comes from. And then when we took that power away from them, guess what they started saying? BWB. I'm taking all the power from you. You can't have me. You cannot have my power. I already know I'm fat with my fat dad bod. You can't shame me because I've already shamed myself before you could get to it. So you saying it, you just repeating what I'm saying. You in my mirror. You can't do nothing I can't do myself. I take all my power. There ain't no shame here because I'm open and I'm fair with myself and I respect people. Have some respect for yourself before you start respecting anybody else. That's what life is all about. I'll teach you how to live. I'll teach you that. I love people and I care about people. That's why my channel is growing. That's why within 4 months, I was able to get 5,000 subscribers and meet all of YouTube's requirement within 3 weeks. That's why, because I care about people. I'm not just here doing YouTube stuff. People can feel that. The spirit is there. People understand that. You know I'm the Spaz King. I'm going to come on here. I'm going to bring the realness. That's what I do here. Guys, listen, man. I got some stuff coming for y'all. I'm going to have to holler at y'all in a little bit. Let me get to editing this tailgate footage, man. Let me leave this voiceover stuff and get to editing this tailgate footage so you can see my dad bod out there in the streets of Boulder talking to the people. So this guy can get more upset and see my dad bod. The fact that I got the dad bod and I'm still confidently in these streets talking to my constituents. Holler at me when you see me in these streets of Boulder. I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there, my friends, was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club.